Hey everybody, welcome to your morning mindset. Every day I'm trying to give you something to help you set your mind on Jesus. I'm talking about being a follower of Jesus, or as the Bible calls them, a disciple. And so what do disciples do? What does it mean, or how do you actually live as a disciple? We've been walking through this. I want to look at a passage from Luke chapter 15, and it's the story of the lost son. You're probably familiar with it, but I'm going to read several verses. Verse 11 says, "A certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the portion of goods that falls to me.' So the father divided to him his whole livelihood. And not many days after that, the younger son, he gathered all together, and he journeyed to a far-off country, and there he wasted his possessions with prodigal or wasteful living. But when he had spent all, there arose a severe famine in the land, and he began to be in want." He lacked everything. Verse 15, "Then he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into the fields to feed swine. And then he would have gladly filled his stomach with the pods that the pigs ate, but no one gave him anything. So when he had come to himself, he said, 'How many of my father's hired servants have bread enough to eat, and even to spare, but here I am, and I perish with hunger. I will arise and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.' So he arose and he came to his father, but when he was still a great way off, his father saw him, and he had compassion, and he ran and he fell on his neck and he kissed him. And the son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But his father said to his servants, 'Bring out the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet. And bring the fatted calf here and kill it, for let us eat and make merry. For this son of mine was dead, but now is alive again. He was lost and is found.' And they began to be merry." They began to have a party. So often you hear this just in the sense of God knocking on your heart's door. We waste our life in prodigal living or wasteful living. We come back to God. But as a follower of Christ, that is true, but there's more to this story for you and me to set our mind on. You see, there's something that happened here, and it was reconciliation of broken relationships. Disciples restore or reconcile relationships that are broken. When you and I are following Jesus, He doesn't want us just to have all these loose ends of relationships where there's been hurt, there's been offense, there's been division, and we just keep moving on like everything is fine. Actually, we need to be like both the Son, recognizing when we have sinned against somebody, and return to them with a humility and ask for forgiveness and identify what we have done and take ownership of that, right? We go to that person, but also we're to be like the Father, who we are looking for those who have broken relationships with us. See, the Father saw him when he was a long way off, so that means he was looking for his son to come back. He was longing for this relationship, and when he saw him, he had compassion, and he didn't make him come all the way, but he ran to him. He got outside of his own bubble, his own comfort zone. He ran to him, and he fell on his neck. He had compassion on him, and he forgave him, and he covered him, and he restored him. He comforted him, and he celebrated with him. Who are the people in your life that your relationships are currently they're not going well? What are those people where there's been a break in relationship? Today, pray for them, forgive them, ask the Lord to restore this relationship, but you pursue them. Send them a note, send them a text, make the phone call, have the conversation face to face, apologize, humble yourself, extend grace towards them, be kind, compassionate. As much as is up to you, work to reconcile these relationships. When you do, you'll see, just as the Bible says, all heaven rejoices. There's something about relationships being restored that is godly and it is good. I hope that helps you today. We'll be back with you next time for your morning mindset.